Creative Interview, and I'm interviewing Tim Stone.
Yep, adjunct lecturer teaching drawing and painting classes.
Perfect. So, while these show, like, how would you describe the kind of work that you paint?
Okay, so I create these large scale paintings, as you can say, and some of the work's smaller too, but it's kind of this, it's these spaces that are sort of hybrid or in between digital and physical experiences we have of space.
Okay. So why did you decide to pursue art professionally?
It's a good question.
It's like your full-time thing.
Yeah, so my art making and my creativity and sort of how I express myself through painting was never tied into this is what I'll do professionally or thinking professionally. It was always just like through the work and like what I was interested in was most important. Becoming a painter, kind of becoming an artist. It was like hopefully I could do that professionally, right?
So what is your definition of creativity?
Well, I guess that could work. It's just like I think it's what naturally sort of like bubbles within us due to like curiosity and I think creative people or creativity should exist kind of free of restraints, and I would use my creativity, I think, to help express ideas, to try to understand anything. It's like, how do we understand our experience? Like, what is this, like, us being alive or us experiencing anything?
Mm-hmm.
Like, creativity helps us to try to illustrate that, I think, right? Often, I feel like artists it's like whatever we possessed as a child when we didn't know anything, but everything was like purely there to be explored or understood. That like artists hold on to a little bit of that, and nurture that. I think everyone has that, but like some people lose it because they think it's not important. It might not be important for them anymore, or as a child. And I think like a really good artist or a really good creative person like continues to tap into that that existed for a long time ago. So.
Yeah. So anyways, back to your work. Where do the ideas for your paintings come from?
Well, it's like a lot of observation.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a landscape painter, so it's kind of I'm trying to get, I guess, through my lens, like a kind of what I deem to be sort of like an authentic representation of what that is today. And then, so that's constant observation of like the spaces and like the news and like, it's probably just like a combination of my own observation mixed with like kind of what I know is happening to our spaces, like scientifically, like via climate change and stuff.
Yeah. What or who inspires you?
That's a great question. Just the landscape, injecting myself into different spaces is always inspiring. My work at first really showcased like our experience and our culture here, sort of in Kansas. But my work's grown to incorporate like all the different places I've traveled. That's kind of like
So what is your process for developing your ideas and like brainstorming?
Kind of,
Like literally, you're kind of talking about it, you know.
Just like I think putting yourself in a place in which, as an artist, in which you can. That doesn't mean a physical place, but to get inspiration, we need to initiate action ourselves. Like we can't just like let it come to us. We need to put ourselves in a place where we're available now to record or be present when like something hits. If that makes sense. So we need to almost make time.
Exactly.
And be bored and kind of like create a space for inspiration to flood in.
Right.
I think that.
So what is an example? We've kind of been talking about creative blocks. So what is an example of one that you went through or maybe are going through right now?
Kind of right now a little bit, yeah. Because it had the big exhibition, and it's hard to kind of keep that heavy momentum up. And I think there's kind of a pressure as a creative or as an artist, like once you have done something, the next thing needs to be just as good or better.
Yeah.
Sometimes those pressures can affect you and like make you think like your ideas are bad or just feel like you don't really have anything to say. When you get into that type of headspace, then you're in a block because maybe what would be coming out where you're not like as anxious or you're not putting as much pressure on yourself, it would be good, but since you are putting that pressure on, you're like more scared to kind of do those things, or you're fearful that it's not going to be as good. Some of that can all like take a toll and you can get into a block. But like I said, I think the solution's like literally like the cold shower or like the forced like I'm just gonna do the thing, you know, like like rip the covers off even when you don't want to get out of bed and just like hop up. Get out of your head, go look at other people's art, appreciate that. Don't think you have to do something like so good. Just know
like
you
like that. But
yeah, and really look and like, do I have to do something? Because I think a lot of artists, there's sort of an insanity to they're gonna be making work no matter what. So it's like, do yourself a favor, get out of your head and ask yourself the question like maybe you don't want to make any more work or something. It's like really make sure it's important to you.
Right.
And that like, no, I need to express myself in some creative way, and a lot of creative people do, a lot of artists do. So listen to that and go look at other people's art for a while and then come back to yours. Yeah.
Well, that's all I have.
Okay.
This is perfect. Thank you. I feel like I needed to hear all this.
Good,
This
good.
is amazing.
I'm glad it helped. Send it, post it to the world. I don't know. Upload it. Okay.